What's up, guys? Welcome to my tarot channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. That's me. My name's Annie. Welcome to this All Signs Tarot reading. Please come into the readings with an open heart and an open mind. Take away only what resonates for you and release the rest. Check below for timestamps so you can hop directly to your reading. And do remember to check out the reading for your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. All right, let's do it. All right, Aries, what's up? Aries, sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs. Let's see what is coming in for you in the next couple weeks. Ooh, you got poppers already. Let's see what's going on with those. Judgment, looking back on the past. Yeah, there's wisdom to be gained from going through, I'm hearing like past records. Does that make sense to anyone? For some of you, there's a piece of information you're trying to find or a name, a date. It's in your records. You'll find it. I know that's super random. Others of you, this might just be a time where you're doing a lot of reflecting on past connections in your life. And I think there's a lot of wisdom to be gained in realizing how much you've grown and how much of maybe like a different person you've become, right? There's Pluto energy here, which is all about sort of the transformation, shedding of the snakeskin, being able to look back and realize how far you've come, with the Hermit shining his lantern on that. There's wisdom and a reason to be proud of yourself too for how far you've come. So tell me a little bit more. There may also be a Virgo or a Capricorn that is looking back on you. Some of you have finally kicked the habit, if that's what the devil represents, if there was something in your past that was holding you back, or some sort of toxic behavior, or just something you were using as a crutch, right? Maybe it was an ism, right? Alcoholism, or, maybe you were addicted to something or whatever, right? With the devil, it's like you've liberated yourself from that. The devil keeps us shackled to something that inhibits our growth and ultimately isn't good for like our spiritual growth. So for some of you, it's like you're on the cusp of kicking the habit too. It's like you're looking back and realizing maybe how much time you feel like you've lost to this. It's funny, I want to say person too. So something in your life that is holding you back or was holding you back. Others of you, you've come out on top. It's like you've made it through the tunnel, right? There's light on the other side and you're starting to come out of that period of darkness. And yeah, I don't think you have to look back and feel guilty or remorse or regretting, but I think there's gratitude for being able to recognize when something in your life wasn't healthy and being able to rise to the occasion to remove yourself from it because of, self-love, self-respect, all those good things. There might be a person who is struggling with some sort of addiction issue in their life. They may be seeking sobriety, or even if it's not addiction issues, seeking some sort of major change in their life for the better. It's like someone in your life may be stuck in a rut, and maybe you're going to be that voice of light or voice of reason that's going to encourage them or persuade them to take the necessary steps to get better, whatever that looks like. Again, Capricorn, Virgo are featured heavily here. Others of you, you may be coming from a dark place, and it almost feels like for you, this is like the last straw of like, I can't keep doing this anymore. It's not working. Like, it's not sustainable. It's not, as my phone agrees, da-ding. There's something here where it's like, this is it. Like, I no more. Like, it's go time, baby. And I mean it in a positive way. A lot of you, you're rising to the occasion to like kick the habit, or again, slay the dragon, the demon, the shadow side or whatever. When you shine the light on it, it becomes more visible, right? Light in the darkness. So yeah, there seems to be positive steps this week in terms of, conquering something that was giving you a lot of anxiety, something that you may have a lot of issues of shame or guilt attached to. Or again, this may be reflecting back on a period in your life, like maybe this is the past, a period in your life that did cause a lot of upheaval, and maybe you feel like, maybe you're on your apology tour right now. Maybe you feel like a lot of people suffered because of some of your actions or habits, or you felt like a burden to them in some capacity. I do think ultimately with Judgment and the Devil, this is a huge story of liberation. You being in a dark place and being able to pull yourself out, like give yourself credit for that, allow yourself time to heal, and be kind to yourself too, right? I mean, I think part of you wants to make everything right again, and it's not to say you can't, but that may take time, and some people might not be open to receiving those apologies or having those heavy, important conversations yet. But ultimately, remember that you did this for you, not necessarily for someone else, though it may have a wider impact than you realize. Again, in a good way eventually, but it's like I feel like I'm just reiterating what I've already said. And then the Two of Swords. So I do get someone who is apprehensive to open up to this conversation or to revisit something with Pluto energy, someone is a little bit guarded. You may have broken their trust or vice versa. If this is about your ex and you liberated yourself from an unhealthy relationship or toxic situation, if that person does come back again, maybe they're on their apology tour, as I like to say, right? You may be very apprehensive to respond to that text or to want to initiate a conversation with them. It's funny as my phone is dinging. Sorry, I will turn that off. Apologies. But yeah, with the Two of Swords, there's an apprehensive, there's a guardedness, but I do think someone here is bearing their soul this week. I do think someone is trying to get back into your good graces, or again, vice versa. You may also be extending some sort of kind gesture, or opening your heart space up to, I don't know how I want to say it, to receive some energy in your life. If it's almost like coming clean, the waters of purification, that's sort of what's coming through with this card. So, all right, that's what I got for you this week, Aries. Interesting energy. All right, thanks, guys. Hello, Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Let's see what's coming in for you this week for Taurus. Who or what's coming in? Ooh, a little bit of sadness, a little bit of sensitivity, feeling the feels. Someone feels left out in the cold here. Quite literally with this. The Five of Cups says we're in the thick of it now, so things are going to improve. There is something to be gained or possibly something to be salvaged from this situation. This might involve a Scorpio or a Capricorn, possibly an Aquarius. Yeah, someone's wanting to hit you back in terms of like responding to a message, but it's almost, I don't know why I'm getting this. It's almost like you reached out and this person is apprehensive to respond, not because they don't want to. There's something going on internally with them where they don't feel like it is safe to express how they're feeling. I said the same thing to Aries. It almost has that energy of someone has screwed up and they know it and they don't know how to make it right. And so rather than trying or, meeting of the minds to try and make things better, this person is almost like sealed their fate of like being a fuck up, sort of. That's sort of what I get from this. I think if this person made the right gesture, you would accept them back into your life, but I also think they know that you've done a lot for them. You've taken on this role almost as caretaker. And even if this isn't like a divorce or a split or anything, it does have an element of they want to hit you back. They want to pay you back in some capacity, even energetically. They want to be able to return the favor, and right now they're just not able to. So they have a lot of self-worth issues because of what they're able to contribute to this connection, or really a lack thereof. You're kind of coming through as a superstar who's like bending over backwards to help someone here. Now, do keep in mind it could go in reverse too for the cross watchers. I might be talking to you, right? But yeah, I mean, with here, it's like the Six of Pentacles very much talks about sort of generosity. We see someone who's like very charitable in this card here. And with the scales, it's like the scales of justice, doing what's right, even though sometimes it's hard, taking care of the person who is sometimes a little bit selfish, because this person can sort of be the bigger person, practice emotional intelligence, understand they're going through a hard time. So, okay, I'll take one for the team. You're sort of coming across this week, Taurus, as taking a lot for the team. And this person, it's like, you may have had a point where you did have to draw a line in the sand. And I think that's good. And I think that's healthy, right? You don't want to become the caretaker for your romantic partner, whoever this is, or constantly be feeding an energy that is just taking, right? That there's no reciprocity there, and that's what this card indicates. So I think you're seeking more reciprocity, but yeah, this person is not able to give back to you, and it's like they're very frustrated. There's a lot of internal frustration. For some of you might be dealing with someone who has some sort of illness of some kind, and I don't do fear-based readings. I don't predict scary things. That's not what this is about. But if it's your story, it might resonate, right? So take it with a grain of salt. But you might quite literally be caretaking for a husband. Maybe they got a bum leg and they're laid up in bed or whatever, right? There could be an element to that. Could also be someone who's dealing with mental health challenges, depression, especially with the Five of Cups, maybe some anxiety, wanting to pursue something and get their zhuzh back, wanting to get their energy and motivation back, pursue something that is more in alignment with their wishes and dreams, especially career-wise, but they just can't seem to get it right. It's like they're really struggling to get themselves back on track. And again, you're kind of coming through as like their cheerleader of like, hey, well, I can look at your resume or I can put in a good word for you, but this person can't get past their own stuff. And I don't mean to be critical. I'm just telling it like it is. This person gets in their own way. They stop themselves. For one or two of you, there may have been an issue with, I don't know if infidelity is the right word, but sometimes if this isn't representing you, it could be that this person is feeling a lot of guilt or shame or remorse because they were giving attention to other people when, you know, technically that they were in a committed partnership. It could be something like that. Or I'm almost getting the idea of caught with their hand in the cookie jar, like doing something that they know they shouldn't have been doing. I mean, for some of you, maybe this is your kids this week, right? You know, it's going to resonate in a different level, but getting caught doing something that they know they shouldn't have. And I don't know what the severity of that is. So again, if this is coming out of the blue and you're like, oh my God, my partner, no, like, you know, it's probably not your story if it's not resonating, but where is this going? The Page of Pentacles. So you know what? I actually do really like that this is coming up because very frequently the Page of Pentacles is sort of like an apology card. It's a little bit juvenile, right? Same with my Page of Cups. A lot of times it's like, hey, can we talk? And I think it's presented as juvenile because it's like this person knows that you're in the superior position to let them back in. So they almost have to come, you know, with their tail between their legs and make some sort of offering to try and get you to listen or to hear them out or whatever. But it's actually kind of surprising because I think you've sort of lost hope that this person would ever come through and make it right. I actually think they're going to try, but I don't think it's going to happen quickly. Especially with Scorpio energy involved here. It's like it takes a lot for this person to maybe like check their ego and be humble, but I do think there's so much internal conflict. I think the only way out, I want to say like the only way out is through, but I do see them making some sort of gesture to be like, hey, can we talk? Yeah, look at that. Taurus, this actually ends in a really beautiful way. And I'm not saying it's going to repair all the damage they've done, if that makes sense to anyone out there, but I do think this person is trying, and so you may extend this person an olive branch one last time, or again to be like, hey, you know what, like, yeah, let's talk about it. You know, everybody F's up now and then. It's like, I think you're willing to hear them out, but rather than initiating it, I think you're hoping that they actually take the reins, that they take the lead and actually make good on whatever happened here, because you seem to be the person who's always like, all right, come on, I'll fix it, I'll make it better. And I think rightfully so, you're drawing a line in the sand to be like, you know what, this person needs to come correct. Like if I mean enough to them, if this relationship, this job, this whatever it means enough to them, they need to approach the bench, right? They need to approach me and make it right. I can't always be coddling and catering to them and more or less enabling this behavior. If it just keeps going on and on, you know, at some point you gotta draw a line in the sand. I do like this energy though. I think, you know, if you guys aren't together, if this was a split or a breakup or, you know, a silent treatment, I think this person is going to come back around and try and make it right. I like that. All right. Thanks so much, Taurus. All right, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's up? Let's do this for Gemini. I moved my mic super close because there's lawnmowers outside, so bear with me. I'm hoping it's not too loud. All right, for Gemini, what's coming in this week? The Magician. I think somebody wants to speak to you. Yeah, okay, perfect. I love when that comes out. Perfect. Yeah, someone wants to address you. Someone wants to speak to you. For one or two of you, maybe you're giving an important speech. There's something very vocal with these two cards especially, right? Tell me more. Happy birthday, by the way, Gemini. Love my Gemini gang. Happy birthday. Ooh, okay, so interesting. These are two totally different dynamics. This is someone who is afraid to speak up or afraid to stand out or afraid to message you back. Someone, yeah, so it's almost like someone's very vocal and very much wanting to speak here, and I'm wondering if whatever they're saying is agitating things or rocking the boat, you know. So I'm hearing something about waves. I don't know what that is. There's like an expression that has to do with, I don't know, rocking the boat, essentially. So I'm wondering if you're reprimanding this person. I'm wondering if this person is in trouble, and again, maybe like a tail between their legs, realizing that they kind of effed up with you, and it's almost like you put them in the doghouse. That's the perfect expression. All right, so tell me a little bit more. What is being communicated here? And maybe this is you. Feel free to reverse the roles here, but it's almost like this person got in trouble. Or if there's something that you do want to say and speak up, you're afraid to. You're afraid to speak the truth. I don't know. Tell me more. What is needing to be vocalized or what is being vocalized here? Interesting. So you may need to address someone who is your superior, possibly your boss, possibly your mother. It could be an issue to do with money and finances, land, property. It seems like a serious matter. I will say that. And there's the lawnmower. Sorry, guys. Tell me a little bit more. We're talking about, okay, there could also be news of pregnancy. I know that kind of took a different turn there, but with the Empress, sometimes that's it as well. It's a matter of pride. I think for a lot of you, this does have to do with career stuff as well. Feeling, I don't know, for some of you, it's almost like you feel like your reputation was put on the line, or someone made you look silly or made you look foolish. Something happened where it kind of put you in a tricky position. It's like they painted you into a corner, and you're trying to bust through that. You're trying to sort of make things right again, but I'm almost getting the idea that someone made things difficult for you or made things messy, like you had to clean up someone else's mess. And so you do seem to be coming out on top, whatever, if this is you, right? Whatever you are vocalizing, I think it needs to be said, and I think you're actually going to feel relieved that you do it. Just watch how much, part of me wants to say, do it with compassion and kindness where you can, because this person is really going to be feeling like your wrath and fury. So even, I'm not saying hold back or don't say it, but I would think about it. I would process what you're going to say before you just let her rip. With Empress energy, again, it's said in the highest vibration. It's Venus energy. So it's said compassionately, but it's not afraid to be a little bit pointed and directed in order to initiate that conversation. I'm thinking of like Libra energy, right? It's also Taurian energy too with the Empress, again, Venus stuff. So it's like solid as a rock. I think you are unstoppable. I think you are a force to be reckoned with. And again, with the Six of Wands, there can be like pride here. So I almost see it in a good way. I think when you speak your truth and address this person and say what needs to be said, you're going to feel good about yourself. Whether they respond or not, I think you're going to be like, well, I'm glad I said that because they crossed a line and they needed to know. And like, again, I don't know the scenarios going on here exactly, but I do think, whatever you're communicating, I don't know. As for some of you, it does feel sort of relationship-like in terms of romance too, like maybe someone ghosted you and you feel like kind of burned by it, but rather than being like, rather than making it icky, right? Rather than sending that text and like tearing them a new one, it's almost like you're coming out on top and saying it like, sort of like iron fist in a velvet glove, like, well, it's really too bad that you did that because, I think blah, 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 but good luck to you or whatever. Like it's very like, dismissive in a way that feels very empowered, or I hope those are the right words. I hope you understand what I mean. So anyway, let's talk about this person. Why are they not speaking up? This could have been someone that, you felt like they took advantage of you or ghosted you or again put you in a weird position. Like it could be that you opened your heart up to this person, you opened your home up, you did some sort of grand gesture or tried your best to make them feel welcome or almost took on like maternal vibes, right? Even if you're a dude or whatever you identify with, right? There's something about like you welcomed open arms to this person and then it feels like they betrayed you or lied to you or something. Is this a cross-watcher reading? No, I'm just kidding. It could be though. It could be. There's always cross-watches, right? Yeah, so I think this person is looking back and feeling guilty. You may have been an unfortunate, not bystander, because I think it involved you. I think you were impacted by this person's maybe poor decision or immaturity, and they weren't trying to necessarily be malicious to you, but you caught them at a weird time where their life was going through a change or a transformation, and so they needed your kindness, they needed your kind gesture and warmth because it revived them, but then it felt like they were very much like, okay, I'm better now, see ya. So I get, it's like they blew out of there. They left really quickly. And so if you are messaging them, it's almost like, I'm just getting the sense that this person is like, they know they effed up. And here's the thing with judgment, you're calling them out on it. So that's what I mean. You do seem to be addressing it, but you're addressing it in a very tactful way. You're not sinking down to their level. You're not matching their energy, which I think sometimes, you see a lot in terms of, if they're not texting you back, don't text them back. But you're better than that. Like, you're more mature than that. I mean, Geminis always need the last word, right? Of course they do. Yeah, right? So that's what I mean. I think you're going to have the last word. I mean, is this person going to respond at all? Let's ask. Justice. There's hidden truths here. There's something that they're not being super transparent and not telling you here. They might be involved with someone else. There might be a Libra or a Cancer involved here. It doesn't have to be. This person may also live at a greater distance than they told you, or they may be in the process of moving or traveling, or they may have ghosted you that way too. Like they just up and left and didn't tell you that. I don't know. There's something, and maybe this has to do with your job, your work. Maybe an employee just up and leaves, and you're just like, "Are you kidding me?" And that's what I mean. It's like you are going to reach out to them one last time and you're going to let them know like, hey, that was pretty effed up, but good luck to you. And I mean, you're sort of twisting the knife a little bit, and I can't really give you an example of how, but like you're letting them know like, I see you. Like, and I think that's the most powerful tool of all, is like holding a mirror up to them and being like, see what you did? Yeah, I see that too. And like letting them know like that wasn't cool, but you know, it's also not my problem. Sorry, this is kind of like a grim message, Gemini, but I think some of you need to know that I think with Pluto, the universe removed this person from your life for a greater reason. So don't look at it like a prison sentence or like you're being punished for something. And I don't really think you do. I think a lot of you are able to see the higher, or take the higher road here, again, be the bigger person, understand that there is like a trickster energy sometimes with the Magician, and especially with the Justice card, which represents truth to me a lot of times as a reader. There's something here about not being transparent or being tricky, something about like the fog, the illusion. You know, you are a sign right now that's being squared. Well, you're always squared by Pisces, right? But especially that like late degree of Neptune, which just, it brings fog and illusion, but also deceit. And again, like trickster illusion energy to something. So yeah, you were dealing with someone that wasn't being fully transparent with you. Whether you find out all the truth or not, it doesn't really matter, because I think you already either intuitively know, but I'm almost getting the idea that something gets leaked. Something gets leaked, or you find out a piece of information through a friend or through social media where you're just like, what? But also you're not surprised. You kind of knew. That's what led you down that track or that trail anyway, to like kind of sniff out the rat. That's what you're dealing with this week. Ooh, sorry, Gemini. Sorry, Gemini. Hopefully I'll see you next week for a better reading, but that's what I got for you for now. Thanks, guys. All right, Cancer babes. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's up for you guys? Sorry if the shuffling is loud. There's lawnmowers outside, so I had to bring my mic super close. I apologize if it's a little bit loud. It's kind of hard for me to gauge right now. So here we go. All right. Messages for Cancer's best and highest good. What is coming in this week, please, for Cancer? You got poppers. Poppers. All right. Distance. Waiting. High Priestess, you already know. The High Priestess always says, trust your intuition. You already know about this one. As I'm saying that, I'm literally wanting to say, you already know about this dude. You already know about this guy. So, especially if you're watching about your fella, whether you were male or female, it's like, you already know what's up with that. It feels very much like, Cancer, I get this message for you all the time. I'm so sorry. It's always a repeat message, but it's like you're taking on a role as caretaker to someone who it's just, they don't have their shit together. And so I'm going to be super tough with you this week. I'll probably give you another message because you guys know I love you. I can't always be mean. You are in some ways enabling this behavior. So really hold yourself accountable. If this is behavior that you don't want and you're not looking to manifest more of in your life, draw a line in the sand and stick to it. Hold yourself accountable to not send the follow-up text or to not do that extra favor or give them a ride for the 10th time or whatever. It has to do with healthy boundaries for you. And really it does have to do with self-respect. I do think someone is sort of, I'm not saying they're a bad or malicious person. I think maybe some of them have I feel like they're fooling you a little bit, like you're under this false illusion that they're going to come through and rescue you or save the day or change their ways. They want to change, but and these are weekly readings, guys, but right now it's like they're hung up. They're stuck in this bad cycle or this behavior, and you seem to be on the receiving end of it, or something about it is impacting you where you're trying to be chill, but this feels very much like almost like Scorpio energy. It feels like a volcano that's about to erupt. I think you are trying to swallow it, and you're trying to be peaceful and calm and, again, be very catering to everything that they need, but you're doing yourself a disservice. And I think eventually bottling up those emotions and really that frustration, it's going to come out somewhere. So whether you rip this person a new one or you take it out on someone else or whatever, I would say find a healthy way to release that pent up energy, right? Maybe you got to go to the gym or do the thing or, whatever. I mean, like, or whatever calls out to you, like releasing that stored up energy, because it's going to become like still water. When you hold on to that emotions and it's stuck inside you, it gets dirty, it gets smelly, it gets toxic. You have to release something here. And you seem to be holding out for someone who, they're just really immature. They're kind of like a baby. They don't hit you back. They don't balance the scales. They don't make these nice grand gestures that show you that they appreciate you. Let's see. So this could be someone that you have a past with. Could also involve another Cancer. It could involve another Libra. It could involve a Pisces. There's something coming back from your past regarding someone, maybe, I don't know, Capricorn, Aquarius, Scorpio, another Cancer. Something coming back from your past that would have happened in the winter time, or maybe I should, depending on where you are in the world, right? Or around like, I don't know, November, December, January, February. So when that would have been what, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 months ago, ish, take or leave it. Well, I guess a little bit more than that. But yeah, there's something that was frozen, may have thawed out. So this could even be a job offer, but something that you were interested in. And I want to say the winter months just because of what that is. But I guess, again, November through February recently, though I suppose it could be further back. Something about that is coming back around. Yes, someone is rising to the occasion and bringing new energy. They're willing to fight for something that they weren't before, or they're reaching out. It's a slippery slope, though, I'm hearing. It's a slippery slope. Can we just get a happy message for Cancer? What is this about? The Tower. All right, so something unexpectedly does come into your life. There's a breakthrough moment. Again, it likely has to do with soulmate energy or something from your past. For one or two of you, this could also be having a breakthrough with a sibling. If you guys have been at odds or fighting, or there's been a challenging dynamic with a sibling, there could be a breakthrough moment where you guys are actually able to rebalance the scales and establish a more harmonious connection. It doesn't have to be with a sibling, but yeah, that's the general message. Something comes through, and like, if you both have the determination and will and strength to sort of come at this with maybe some fresh energy and some fresh perspective, I do think there's something to be salvaged here with the Six of Cups. It's a warm energy. It's a fondness. It's someone you did at one point have a lot of fondness for, or wanting to make the relationship good. It feels like it got frozen out. It feels like it got put on pause for some reason. But yeah, it's almost like this person comes. I'm literally seeing like this idea of someone like walking up and you sort of walking up like a hill, and you sort of see them shining on the mountaintop, and you're like, where did that come from? Like, it's out of nowhere. It has this energy of like, where have they been? Like it could even be someone that you didn't even realize was going to come back into your life. Someone who, maybe, I don't know, maybe you dated them years ago. I am getting something about winter. But yeah, it's like someone's coming back in to make themselves known. And yeah, like it goes rather well. Wheel of Fortune, it's like opening up the conversation to seeing where this goes in the future, new travel opportunities. Again, something about being at a distance. You might not have realized that this person was coming into your orbit again. Something lucky, something, it's about destiny and divine timing. You can't necessarily plan it, but it's good, so look forward to that. So I think these are two very different messages. I think this is saying, let go of anything that feels like you're grasping at straws or really forcing or trying to hold on to for dear life. I promise you it's not worth it. The Neptune energy, you can't hold on to it. Just allow it to slip through your hands and know that you're going to catch a better one. That's really what this feels like. It's the universe is removing things from you in order to make space for something real and something legit that you can hold on to. And again, this may translate in terms of contracts, in terms of jobs, right? Again, how you choose to read this is up to you. It feels relationshipy to me, but yeah, allow things to exit your life organically. Do not chase it. You don't need to, because this feels better. And it comes unexpectedly. It's almost like this is something you planted the seeds for maybe months or years ago. Maybe you didn't even realize you were planting seeds for it. It wasn't ripe enough to come into your life then, but you planted the seeds. And like, I'm wanting to say, like, this person remembers you. So it's coming in divine timing. You don't have to do anything more to manifest it. It's already on its way to you. Just be open and be ready and practice good self-love. Okay? Thank you, Cancer. All right. What's up, Leo? Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Let's see what's coming in for you in the next couple weeks. What's a message or story I can share with my Leo gang? Messages for their best and highest good, please, for Leo. I see you. You might be dealing with another Leo. This to me talks a lot about self-control and self-restraint, feeling like you need to hold back maybe because the timing isn't quite right. It's probably something you're meant to go after or meant to pursue, but yeah, it's like there's a need to hold back for some reason. And okay, this probably has to do with a masculine figure or a figure of authority too. Maybe you're fighting with your dad. Maybe you're fighting with your boss. Maybe you're fighting with your husband if there's a power control issue dynamic kind of going on there. You're both fighting to have the other person give or give into your way. Power struggles is what I'm trying to say, not so eloquently. So what's the deal here? This could be you too. There is a stubborn energy with this Emperor. And no offense, y'all know I love my Leo gang. I gotta tell it like it is. So the thing is, I really like the Three of Cups. That really balances out this energy of like, I need to hold back because someone isn't seeing eye to eye with me or whatever, or I really want to tell this person off, but I know it could get me in trouble. So I almost think with this Three of Cups, it might be saying that this situation actually works out for the best, and I feel like I gave you that reading like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was like something you're really struggling with now. There was almost an energy of like when you walk away, it almost kind of fixes itself. Like it has, I don't know if it has to do with divine intervention or pieces of the puzzle kind of get moved around when you're not physically there, and it actually works out to your benefit. It might be saying that. The other messages here is like focus on what brings you joy and positivity. If this is dating or romance for you, if you're dealing with, a stubborn energy that like you want them to text you, you want them to ask you out, and they're not giving in the energy and the output that you're wanting. It's like, go hang out with your friends, hang out with the people who do show up for you, that celebrate you, that bring you joy, that make you feel loved and appreciated. Because in a sense, it's like, don't waste your breath. Don't waste your time and energy on someone who they're not willing to feed the relationship you are. And I'm not saying that's true across the board. Again, for some of you, this might be someone you're already married to. But if that's the case, I almost think with these, it's like, just give it a break. Walk away so maybe you can come back to this energy or this conversation with a fresh perspective. When you kind of are in that lighthearted, happy energy, I don't know, something about that may kind of change I don't know if it changes your mind, but it transforms your energy to approach this in a more positive way, versus maybe acting a little bit more aggressive or being a little bit more sharp or persistent or something that may rub this person the wrong way. Maybe not persistent, but I think you know what I mean. This card wants to be seen. What is it? Yeah, so it does have to do with communication, with the Page of Swords. And also, I will say with the Page of Swords, more often than not, if it's not actively like a vocal card of self-expression or, again, communication, conversation, it's needing to think things through. It's a page, so in a sense, it's like a junior. It's preparing for a greater conversation. The Knight of Swords is absolutely a conversation. The Page is working its way up to that. So sometimes it's like a short message or, a small bit of dialogue. But generally speaking, the more I see this card, it has to do with like going back to the drawing board to like rephrase something or rewrite something or readdress something, right? But sometimes it's that idea of like, maybe I'm going to jot it down in the notes in my phone and get my thoughts together before I present it. So there's a need to like think this through in a better way before you approach the conversation. Because I do see a power struggle. There's people here that are not seeing eye to eye. What's lacking is communication, but I don't know if this is the first time you've had to have the conversation, because I almost get the impression that you've tried before and it's just not hitting the mark. There's like, if it sort of feels like you're talking to a brick wall here. So why is the Three of Cups coming up? Because again, that's really lovely energy. That's like people getting along. It's amicable. It's fun. It's, lovey, happy energy. I wouldn't say it's always romantic. I think a lot of times it's like a good friendship card. But I think that's a healthy outlet to have when you're dealing with maybe what is a more heavy weighted energy at work or at your house or home. It's like, again, going out with people who celebrate you. But what? Okay, wow, there's like a whole thing coming through here. Okay, new storyline. Maybe we'll see. So something with Aquarius, maybe needing to detach yourself from the chaos and the energy, the storyline that you're currently in. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of trivial, but it's like taking a vacation from your problems. They're still going to be there when you get back if you want them to be. But I think there's value, again, in going towards that soul connection or the people who've had your back for years, for decades, long-standing friendships. It could even be seeking counsel or advice from a sibling or that you really trust, or even some sort of like mentor in your life to get some sort of higher perspective, greater perspective, new perspective on how to deal with this very challenging situation. Frequently, the Emperor does have to do with work stuff and career stuff. It feels like, we want to be in control, we want to be in total leadership, but sometimes someone has, almost like a dictator type vibe, or someone who has power or authority over us, or someone who maybe controls our money, or someone who has a say in our money. Again, it could be husband, wife, or whoever stuff, right? Not so much a gender thing, but The star is like needing to rest and heal and take a mini break from this, take a vacation from it. The star, because it's Aquarian energy, it does talk about the linking of systems, right? It's sort of like, this flowing water goes into different avenues and different channels, and that talks about meeting up with different people from different walks of life or different friendship groups, right? Aquarius is very associated with groups and communities. It's like reaching out to your community and getting, again, some sort of solid advice or wisdom. That's what the swords, represent. It's like going out and seeking advice or doing some research, gathering more facts, data, information in order to progress forward so we're not stuck in this conflict anymore. That advice and information comes in a very soothing, happy way. I feel like whatever the situation is, ask for advice, ask for help, which is not always your comfort spot, Leo. I know that about you, right? More power to you if that's something that you've been, practicing and exercising more of, because that's the solution to whatever this is. I'm not saying it's going to fix everything overnight. It might not be a Cinderella story, but there's an important stepping stone or milestone in how you approach this relationship, because you're able to ask for help or seek wisdom or guidance to be better informed on how to approach this issue, whatever it is. It has to do with your emperor. Again, boss, authority figure, marital issues, someone who's just stubborn and you guys are not seeing eye to eye, but for some reason or another, you're being paired together by the universe. So there's clearly something you're meant to learn from this, but maybe it does have to do with kind of enforcing your own power and your own authority and not giving your power away. All right, Leah, that's what I got for you this week. Thanks so much. Please like, share, subscribe. All right. Hello, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs in Virgo. What messages can I share this week with them? Who or what might be coming in? A narrative, a storyline. Queen of Wands. Stand in your power. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Aquarian energy, all right, with the star. This actually feels like planning something important for your future, getting your ducks in a row, and not just thinking about it, but actually taking the necessary steps to achieve that, to pursue that. The Queen of Wands, although she is sitting in her throne, right, it is a very action-oriented card. It already says to me, like, you've already achieved some sort of noteworthy thing in your life. And so it's cool to rest and appreciate that, but it's almost like getting motivated again to get back on the horse and continue to chase and pursue your dreams, if that makes sense. Some of you may end up changing course or changing paths or changing directions. And so there may have been like a necessary break or pause, but I think there's more clarity starting to come in, particularly in Gemini season, right? That is a sign that by default kind of squares you. So there's an agitated energy, but it's serving a greater purpose for you to get more clarity and possibly do more research and fact finding in regards to how you're going to move forward with some sort of long-term goal or wish or dream. The Tower. All right, so an unexpected breakthrough. So for some of you, there could be an unexpected breakthrough in some sort of avenue. There's a couple messages coming through. I'm being bombarded with messages. All right, let's slow it on down. So through a fortuitous or lucky connection, there could be an ability, I'm hearing like nepotism. You know somebody and it puts you in an advantageous position. You might not know them yet. You might meet them on the street tomorrow, but there's some sort of lucky, unforeseen connection with the star and the tower that helps set you off down this new path. And to be honest, some of you, it may initiate this new path without you having even contemplated that path before. For some of you, you're actively looking for that connection. So if that's the case, it's going to make more sense to you. Others of you, there could be a connection in the works where it's actually going to really influence your career or your path forward, your spirituality, even something with health and medical stuff. Having some sort of insight or information through a lucky fortuitous connection, it's a breakthrough moment. It's like, oh, this really helps. This really, adds, in a good way, like it adds gasoline to the fire and now we're really cooking. It's that type of like, okay, now I know how to do this, or I'm having more clarity on what direction to go in. Others of you, and I don't do fear-based readings, so that's not what this is about in any sense. But for some of you, there's a message. You already know you've had to take a step back because of health issues that you're still working through. So know that in some way, and I don't mean to be condescending or minimalize what you're going through, but in some way, there's something for you to gain and learn from the period of break and rest. It could be that you overworked yourself or overburdened yourself, and it kind of caught up with you, and you're starting to realize how much you maybe dismissed your health or your body or took it for granted, or really like went above and beyond and maybe sacrificed your health and wellness in the process of trying to meet the needs of others around you. So with that kind of Queen of Wands energy, it's pulling the energy back to yourself to focus on your own health and wellness. Yeah, there could have been sort of some unexpected challenge in your health or wellness journey. And so again, rather than looking at that as like a prison sentence or a punishment, know that like the universe is asking like what can be gained during this time of rest or taking a break, because really it's about listening to your body, checking in with yourself, being a little bit more in tune and self-aware, with your body and your body's rhythms, what your body is trying to tell you. And that may actually impact the way you move forward, moving on, like your daily regimen and routine may be going through some sort of major shakeup, some sort of major transformation, essentially, with the Tower energy. There could be an Aquarius friend that's playing a key role in your life, particularly with your career right now, your social life even, I would say. There could have been a falling out with a fire sign and Aquarius. It doesn't really matter the sign there. There could have been a falling out or a breakup with someone, and you might be sort of mending your heart, if you will, from that. Yeah, getting your confidence back, something knocked your confidence or your ego, your pride was checked a little bit. And I'm not saying it was your fault or that it was, a punishment, but yeah, something where maybe you thought it made you question yourself. And again, that is helpful in recognizing, because the universe is trying to get you to see that relying on other people's praise or attention or applause or approval, it's kind of neither here nor there. The only person you really need that approval from is yourself. So you're getting back on the horse, especially romantically. Yeah, some of you have been through the ringer in terms of a romantic or dating relationship that really took a turn for the worse. And again, it knocked you down. It knocked you down a few pegs and maybe humbled you a little bit. It may have been that you didn't see it coming. Somebody may have decided to end something and it just completely blew your mind. You were like, where is this coming from? It's sort of that type of energy, but I do see you healing slowly but surely. And yeah, there'll be a new connection. Of course there will, right? Eventually. But I don't know, with the star in the center of your card, as much as I want to be like, and then there's something coming in next with the Ace of Wands. There is. We can go down that path. But ultimately, if the star is in the middle, this is about healing the relationship to yourself. And I know you guys are like, oh my God, like that's not why I'm here. Like, I know. But really, like if the star is in the middle, this is about you. This is about you and you alone and healing yourself. And I would even say, there's like a cleansing or a clearing out with the Tower and the Star card of connections that really just have tapered off, or connections that you've outgrown. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago, and maybe you're hanging out with people that they're not on the same page anymore, and it ends up kind of lowering your vibration, or you guys just aren't speaking the same language anymore. So allowing those to taper off, allowing those to break off organically, it's actually decluttering you. It's removing stress and chaos from your life. So allow people to exit your life, right? And maybe they'll come back revived and renewed, but ultimately, again, it's not really about waiting for Mr. Right or Mr. Wrong or whoever to come back and whatever. It's about taking care of you. And I do think there's a lot of distractions and people around you that it's just not for your best and highest good. I'm not saying they're malicious or have bad intent, but it's not doing you any favors, because you need to be the main focus of your life right now. And it feels like you've been playing maybe like caretaker to those around you. And in that process, you've been neglecting yourself. So again, this is about bringing it back to you and getting your strength back. All right, that's what I got for you this week, Virgo. Thanks so much. All right, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Let's see what's coming in from my Libra gang out there. What narrative or storyline can I share with them? What might be coming in? Sagittarius. Healing, needing patience. Let's see. Ooh, and 10 of Pentacles. I feel like there's a good money opportunity coming down the pipeline for you. Maybe something to do with selling land or property, finding a property or a house, a home that you've been kind of searching for, an opportunity to buy or purchase something that's maybe a little bit more on the expensive side, but it seems like you've been saving for it. You've been preparing for it. You've been waiting for the right opportunity to come about. And I'm sort of getting the idea that you might be ready to pounce on this. Yeah, there is an element of like wait and think it through, or maybe I don't know if wait is the right term, because I think for some of you, it's coming across more as like, don't self-sabotage this by thinking it's not going to work out. There's a reason to just breathe, right? Like inhale, exhale. And if it's meant to be, it's going to be. But I think it's like you have stars in your eyes because you're starting to get excited about some sort of opportunity or deal. You know, maybe it's a job that has a really good title or a really good salary, a really good paycheck. Maybe it's a one-time client deal, but they're paying a lot of money. I think for you, it's all about the mental, cerebral wellness, if that makes sense. It's almost like coaching yourself to see it through a very positive lens in order to like manifest it and make it happen. I just keep wanting to say, don't self-sabotage by being in that nervous, worrying energy, because that's sort of what you attract when you're in that vibe. So it's almost like you have to envision it like it's already happened to you, envisioning like what it's going to feel like and what it would look like and how it would change your daily life or your routine and this and that, because that's the best way to manifest it, essentially. Tell me a little bit more about this. Yeah, this is like an achievement of some kind. It may involve traveling or picking up and changing locations. It could be a job that involves travel, absolutely. But it might be, again, if it has to do with house, land, home, property, you may have to travel to that location to sell it. Or again, you may be moving in order to acquire this new house, this new job, something like that. Knight of Swords says, yeah, things are going to move very quickly. So enjoy the pause or enjoy the break. Because for some of you, there almost is an element here of thinking that you lost out on it. Like someone outbid you or this or that, or the title or the position went to someone else. That's not entirely true. And I don't want to paint false hope. I kind of have to read what's coming in energetically. And it's like something circles back to you. Quite literally with the world, the circle, it's like communication comes in and it's almost like you maybe get a second chance to sign this or to receive it or to move forward with it. It could have been that something was delayed because of contracts and negotiations, and it may not have had anything to do with you. There's I don't know, there's just some energy here of why am I waiting? Like I thought this was good to go. I thought the job was mine. I thought I aced the interview. I thought whatever. Like I thought it was mine. I thought it was a done deal, or I just felt so confident about it. I'm kind of confused why they're not messaging me back to make the offer or whatever. There is some sort of like, it's slow. I don't know what it is. It starts off slow, and then once the negotiations get going, it's very fast with Knight of Swords, but there's a pause or a delay in between, like, I don't know how else to say it, like metaphorically, like between the interview and the offer, there's a break. There's like a period of negotiation behind the scenes that you're not necessarily privy to. Anyway, this actually seems like it could be really good though. Yeah, there's a connection here that is very strong. So maybe for some of you it is romantic, but to be honest, this feels more symbolic of finding something that's a really good match for you. It's a really good fit. If this is a new job opportunity, these people are very excited to have you. It's like they're welcoming you into like their work family, It feels very much like they're showering you with praise and compliments and attention. They're very complimentary. They're very interested in hearing about your background and your resume, and they make you feel really welcome. It feels very, very like Venus energy. Just like, we want to comfort you and make sure you're off to a good start. And if there's anything you need, let us know. And for a lot of you, it's a completely different dynamic than the job you're coming from previously, where it may have felt very cutthroat or felt very prickly, like people just didn't get along and maybe there was a lot of negative energy. It feels like you're being welcomed into like a family, essentially. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of patience with one another. There's just like a good vibe, Libra. I really like this for you. Now, if this is romantic and dating, let's see. That's not the first vibe I get. I just have to be honest. It's not. I'm not saying it's not in the cards. For some of you, it feels like you're already in a partnership or already in a connection. There could be an air sign coming through, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It certainly doesn't have to be. Maybe something with a Libra, a fellow Libra, or Sagittarius, perhaps, maybe Capricorn, maybe a fixed sign. Yeah, it's I don't know. Fixed signs are Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus. I don't know. That's not coming through the strongest, but this feels more like reaching a milestone in a relationship, to be honest. It feels like if you've been dating someone, you maybe have the conversation to make it official. Or if you have been married and you're thinking about starting a family, you actually start taking the steps to have the baby. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you're trying to get pregnant, that sort of thing. For those who are single and looking, there may be a connection through a sibling or through a family member. You meet someone through someone in your family, and it's, I don't know, maybe you hit it off that way. It might start off kind of slow, though. It might be someone that you've already met once or twice. You know, again, maybe somebody brought their friend to a barbecue that you attended, and it was just like, oh, yeah, like you're aware they existed, but maybe somebody messages you that way, and it starts off slow. I don't necessarily know if you see them as a romantic prospect yet. In terms of love and romance, that's really the only thing coming through this week. But whatever this is, though, it looks really good. You have actually one of the stronger readings this week, Libra, so good for you. All right, thanks, guys. All right, Scorpio, what's up? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Let's do it. What message can I share with my Scorpio gang this week? In the next couple weeks, what might be coming in for them? Ooh, a love offer. A love offer. Ooh, at a time where, okay, it might not be a love offer, but it's an offer of some kind. It's a compassionate person who sees you struggling with something, and they come in with a cup of love or something to help better your situation, to help heal you, to offer some sort of support during what could be a tricky or troubling time. You might just be having a lot of stress at work, you know, responsibilities at home with your family, whatever it is. Soulmate energy. All right. I kind of like this. I also think for some of you, this is romantic, but it comes at a time where love is not your priority, Scorpio. It feels like, again, this feels very burdensome. Whatever it is, you have your hands full, and so you're not actively like, oh, I'll just hop on the dating apps and see what's there. It's like you literally don't have time for that. And yet something comes to find you. It could be someone has been watching you from afar or wanting to come in and I don't know, get to know you, ask you out, whatever it is, and it could actually end up being a very strong connection. That being said, for one or two of you, again, this is not the majority. It could be that you're already in some sort of connection, whether it's marriage or a relationship, or, you know, for one or two of you, again, you might be involved in something, and another offer is coming into you. So, you know, tread lightly, you know, take that message as you will, but it could be that some of you are burdened in a marriage, in which case you might be trying to get out of a marriage or get out of some sort of commitment that it's just not fun anymore. It's lost its zest. It's lost its passion. It's more of a burden than anything else, in which case something else comes in to replace it, which is kind of interesting timing. And I really do want to focus on that because that's kind of the main message with this coming through here. There's a heavy energy, but it's flanked by very pleasant cards. So it's like love happens when you're not expecting it, or when you're not looking for it, or not anticipating it. I don't know if you know who this person is. In fact, we'll ask a little bit about that, but it could be that someone, and I mean, this is just an example. I'm not saying all of you are on dating apps, but if you are, it could be that, you know, you swiped right on someone a month ago and they just opened their app and swiped right on you too. And you're just like, you weren't expecting that connection to come in, and you're like, oh, and then conversation flows and you're, you know, making plans to meet up for coffee or whatever. And like, it comes at a time where it's like, you didn't even realize that was in store for you. You weren't actively on the hunt and pursuing it. And that, honestly, that's frequently how it happens, right? The Magician. So someone is very much wanting to communicate with you. I think this is something that you've been manifesting in your life, but it hasn't been your main focus right now, as we've said. Sorry, I know I'm repeating myself. Tell me a little bit more. So this person's picking their moment. They're picking their moment to maybe come in. So for some of you, you might know who this is already then, or at least they know who you are. Because that's the thing with this card. It always says to me, someone is wanting to take action, but they're not quite ready to, or they're holding back. They're a little bit indecisive to communicate to you. So why is that? They must know you, right? So I don't know, maybe it's someone you work with, or maybe it's a friend of a friend, and maybe this person knows that you're kind of sort of taken, and so they're waiting to see if you break up or split up, or they're waiting to see if you're back on the market. That's sort of what this message is. It's like someone is very ready to communicate with you, but they're holding back because they're wondering if it's not the right time, because maybe they're privy to this information that you have a lot going on at work, or you have a lot of responsibility, or you're having financial struggles, or whatever it is. So maybe they're trying to not overwhelm you. But the thing is, the Knight of Cups is coming in here. So I'm not sure if they're just, it's like they developed a case of like the fuck it's like, all right, I'm just going to say it because I can't hold back anymore. The Knight of Cups doesn't rush things, but maybe the Knight of Cups is sort of like trying to get a pulse on the situation. So rather than holding back entirely, maybe they start to make a stride forward to connect with you or ask you out without, well, I'm going to rephrase that. Without asking you out, this person might be trying to inch their way closer to you to kind of scope out the vibe closer up and see if you're single, or to see if you're interested at all. You know, maybe they're not asking you out, but they're maybe flirting a little bit, to like putting themselves out there a little bit more to see what response they get. The thing is, Scorpio, your back is turned to them here. And do keep in mind, this could go in reverse. So if I'm talking about you with this burden and all this stuff and you're like, that's not me, maybe this is you. Maybe you're the one who's wanting to approach somebody, but you don't know if you're going to be received well. You know, feel free to reverse it. It's almost like this person may, whoever this is, I think it's you, I don't know. You have your back turned to this Knight of Cups, so whoever is trying to approach you with, again, kindness or compassion or offering a helping hand, I don't know if you're too proud to take their help or to accept their help, or if you're so in it, like you don't see the forest from the trees, where you don't realize this person is even flirting with you, which is not very Scorpio. You guys tend to pick up on vibes like very easily, but there's something here of you seem kind of dismissive or distant. And so I feel like this person is worried that you're not interested or you're going to reject them. And I mean, maybe that's the case. I don't know. So what is the vibe here of this person? Are they, in regards to this Knight of Cups, how is this person going to react? Please. Yeah, again, your back is turned to it. Emotionally, you might not be ready to accept this offer because maybe you're coming off of a nasty split or a breakup, or you're still doing some sort of healing work from someone who burned you. Or again, maybe money is tight right now, and so you have to put all your effort into, you know, bills and this and that and paying off debt. And so maybe when it comes to just being able to like date and enjoy and go out, you're just not in that headspace. Yeah, there's a focus on money and career for you right now. The Empress is a good card, though. I do like that. Just don't miss out on a good opportunity, because if this truly is you, I feel like this person would walk to the ends of the earth to make you happy. It seems like someone's really interested in pursuing you. But again, if they have strong water in their chart, it just feels like they kind of know what's up with you a little bit too. So it's like they're sensing that you're not interested, but they still have feelings for you. And like with the Empress, they hold you in very high regard. Like it's very like, oh my gosh, Scorpio. Like they put you on a pedestal. But either you're not interested, or, no offense, Scorpio, I'm saying this half jokingly, it's like you're too dumb to realize this person is interested. And I don't, again, that's a joke. Sorry for those of you who don't know. Like, that's me digging you a little bit. But it's not that you're too dumb to notice it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why you're not seeing this. So for some of you, you might not be interested, or you might still be holding on to the idea of an ex. Okay, that could be it too. There could be someone new who's trying to pursue you, but you haven't completely healed from a breakup or a relationship. That's what I see here. But I don't know. The vibe here looks good to me. So if you're able to sort of let go of the past and hit reset and try and invite new people into your life, this could be a good catch. I'm just saying. I kind of like this Knight of Cups. Yeah, this is about holding on to something that needs to be severed because you have no more room to accept anything new in your life. And for some of you, maybe this is a job. Maybe this is a job offer. Maybe this is a recruiter or a headhunter or your best friend saying, hey, we have an open position at my job. And I don't know, it's like you're hell-bent to make something work with an energy that is exhausting. So it's almost like, are you at a job that isn't good for your mental health anymore, but it's all you've ever known, so you're very apprehensive to change and give it up? You know, fixed energy, right? This is like, what are you holding on to, and is it worth it? Could cutting something out or liberating yourself from some sort of connection that isn't doing you any favors, is that going to usher in this new like Empress cycle of like wealth and abundance and happiness and love and joy? I don't know. My impression with kind of Aquarian energy is, again, you're accountable and responsible for your actions and decisions, but this is almost like rolling the dice and taking a risk on the unknown or the dark horse or something. Yeah, something that initially you may be dismissive of, or you have a million reasons why it's not a good fit, but the universe might be telling you, are you sure? Because like, I don't know, this opportunity is coming to you for a reason. So you may want to contemplate that a little bit more. You may want to think it over before you jump to the conclusion that it's not for you and that you're very happy accepting what you currently have, because it feels like the winds of change are here for the better with the Empress energy. All right, that's what I got for you, Scorpio. Thanks. All right, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's coming in for you? Sag gang? Let's see. Ooh, a love offer. Someone wants to take your hand in marriage. Maybe. Yeah, a big offer is coming your way. If the Empress is extending love and kindness, it could be a feminine energy in your life is reaching out a helping hand. Someone may come through and help you financially. You may receive some sort of financial aid or a job offer of some kind. It could also be, and it could be a masculine energy. I mean, Empress is typically feminine, but it could be male, female, or anything in between, right? Gender's not a thing. But there's someone who has a very maternal-like energy. There's a very strong nurturing, comforting, wanting to take care of you energy. So this could absolutely be romantic, but it could be just a friend in your life or someone you know. It could even be a coworker reaching out and giving you compassionate, kind words of encouragement, and particularly if you've been going through a hard time and some sort of like healing journey. It's like allow someone to take care of you, Sag. I think a lot of times Sagittarius likes to be the hero. That's that Jupiter energy. But there's strength in allowing other people to come through and take care of you. So allow that to happen because this feels really lovely. Yeah, look at that. Someone is like, I want to go out with you. I want to date you. I want to love you. I want to marry you. The Page of Cups. No, I'm half kidding. But I mean, you do have two very strong cards of offers, and whoever is offering it is a powerhouse. So this is just a small like a small drop in the bucket of everything that's to come. Like if it's coming down the pipeline, you're only seeing a small portion of it right now, and it's a very big offer. So for those who are just starting to date, this could be something that really carries you well into the future. A very strong connection, strong companionship. So if this is romantic, it's coming through as like, I know this is cheesy, but it's like, it's so important. It's like this person first and foremost is like your best friend, and they also happen to be like the person that you're dating and maybe eventually marrying or whatever. Or maybe some of you are already married and like you're renewing your vows, or you're just really in this energy this week of appreciating your person and who you're with, or even your best friend. Some of you may be visiting with family, right? Father's Day is coming up, maybe, especially so there's some sort of sweet connection with a mother figure here for some of you. It's like your mom is really taking care of you this week. Or if you, Sagittarius, yourself are a mother, there's this really strong bond and connection with your children this week. This feels like love all around. Whoever it involves, it feels really warm and compassionate and sweet and just, I love it. It feels very gentle. Feels very soothing. It's not like this kind of fast pace, let's jump in the bedroom. Like, it's just very sweet. It's very lovely. Feels like there's romantic music and candlelight and bubble baths. That's how I would describe this. There's like sensuality with the Empress, right? A really good meal. Maybe you're inviting your person to your house and cooking them something amazing. Or I don't know, maybe you're going out on a date and you're buying some sort of expensive chocolate, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. The High Priestess, yeah, it's soothing. It's very strong feminine energy. So particularly for those who are in same-sex relationship with a female, that feels very lovely this week. What else? Some of you are going to have to decide between two different offers. Oh boy, Sagittarius, this took a turn. So some of you may be in a connection or a partnership, and then there may be another option that comes through, and I don't even know if it's necessarily like interfering with a marriage. For some of you, it's possible. But it could be that you're casually dating someone and then a new offer comes in and you're kind of torn between the two. So essentially the universe is saying one of these you're going to have to put down. But the thing is, I don't think it's going to be hard for you, because one is clearly the more sustainable, the more logical, the more fruitful, there's a better word for it. I'm grasping at straws trying to get it, but there's something that's more legit. It's more real. It feels right. Your intuition is like, I know this one is best for me. So maybe some of you sometimes this can be a card of holding on to the past, or holding on to an ex, or this or that. It's like the struggle to let go of something when something new is trying to come into you. I think a lot of you are going to realize that it's worth taking the risk on, essentially, risking getting your heart broken again, because that's always going to be a risk. But I think you know enough to know, like, this person has a good vibe. They're not going to put you in a position where they're intentionally going to hurt you or ghost you, or, give you this false illusion. Like, I think they are who they say you are. You trust this person's vibe, and I think rightfully so. I think, if anything, this person may be taking some sort of risk on you, and I don't totally know what that means, but that was sort of channeled. There might be a difference in class or a difference in your background, or something about financial something may come into this. And so somebody may feel a little bit like they lack the status or it's not really self-worth. It's coming through as monetary. So it could be someone's like out of a job or something, and maybe it happened unexpectedly and it kind of took a toll on their confidence. Like someone's confidence may have been knocked recently. But again, like the person on the other end of this isn't coming at them from a judgmental place. And this is probably you. It's very open-minded of like, yeah, shit happens and like, we'll figure it out together. Ooh, isn't that phrase sexy? We'll figure it out together. I like that. I don't know what this is for you, Sag, but it feels lovely. So enjoy this. You may have to make some sort of decision between people or decision between opportunities, if it is a job. But again, one clearly outweighs the other because this one brings you peace of mind. This one is chill and cool. This one is burdensome. This one is a nightmare. This one is just work, and you never get to play and have fun and enjoy. It's a Saturn and Sagittarius card. So like, typically Sagittarius have a good work ethic, but it's very important for you to have time to play and have fun. Any sign, but especially you as a fire sign. So like, that's what I mean. Like there's a quote unquote difficult decision, but I don't know how difficult it actually is because it's clearly like, choose the one that brings you peace. Because that's what's in store for you, is taking better care of yourself. And via this person, I think it reminds you that you are important and worthy and deserving of good things. All right, Sag, thanks. Okay, Capricorn, what's up? Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What is coming in for Capricorn in the next couple of weeks? What message or storyline can I share with them for Capricorn? The High Priestess, all right? So holding back on communication or needing to think something through very thoroughly. The High Priestess is not a super vocal card, but with it being clarified by the Page of Swords, it's like there's a lot going through your mind. But yeah, you're not necessarily communicating that to someone. You might be contemplating putting an end to something because it's not bringing you peace of mind anymore. There might be a storyline with someone in your life or some sort of, job, opportunity, whatever it is, some sort of outlet that it's not doing it for you anymore. And so you might be contemplating having a conversation regarding putting an end to it, giving notice type deal or breaking up with someone. You're not doing it yet, though. I also think, too, for some of you, that phrase of like, your silence speaks volumes here. If it's not putting an end to something, it's almost like, I don't necessarily like to encourage the idea of giving someone the silent treatment because I think in a lot of ways that's very immature, that, it's playing games, expecting people to read your mind, whatever. That being said, there is some sort of strategy here where you're kind of like, you know what, it's not even worth my breath. I don't think, and to be honest, if that's the case, you not speaking up is actually helping to give you peace of mind. Does that make sense to any of you? It's like it's easier if I don't say something, because ultimately that way I can just walk away and not worry about it. So to be honest, like the more I look at this, it almost has this idea of ghosting. And I don't know if that's the totally appropriate word, but it's like, what do you call it? It's like, why poke the bear? It's like I could send some follow-up text or email and check in, but ultimately if this person isn't giving me their time and attention, why even go back? Because for you, it might be a matter of principle or a matter of self-respect. So it's almost just letting something die out organically. This is very interesting, Capricorn. I want to underscore, I don't see you doing something immature to avoid an awkward conversation. It's not that energy. It's that whoever is on the receiving end of this or whoever it's involving, it's so far beyond what you view as their capabilities to step up and be a stand-up person and mature adult, all those things. You're just kind of like, you know what, whatever. Like washing your hands of it. But it's not a scenario, again, where you're going to lose sleep about it. I think you're coming to some sort of peaceful conclusion that something happened in your life for a reason, and you're allowing it to exit and eliminate it from your life because it's actually going to restore peace of mind. It's actually going to kind of like reset your energy, because dealing with this situation or this person, it brought a lot of chaos and drama, and I think you're just ready to like let that go. So I don't know if this person messages you and you leave them on red. If that's the case, it's because they've done that to you and you're so far beyond it. It's not coming, for most of you anyway, I don't see this as coming from a place of wanting to play games, of like playing hard to get. It's not that. It's because if you don't choose to message them or message them back or whatever this is, it's because you've already ended that cycle in your life and you've moved on. So there's not even sort of that temptation to be like, oh, well, maybe I should message them again. It's like, no, like you're done with that. You've closed the chapter. You've closed the book on that. So interesting. You might be dealing with a Cancer. You might be dealing with a Scorpio. It doesn't have to. It's so funny. I can tell my camera is tilted because the cards, like, these are straight to me, believe it or not, these cards. But yeah, there we go. My camera must have gotten nudged. I noticed that in the last couple of videos when I recorded it. I was like, that doesn't look right. All right, sorry, Capricorn. Here we go. What else? Yeah, plenty of fish in the sea. I think you were under the false illusion for a period of time that perhaps... I don't know, perhaps this was your only option, or it was some sort of energy that was worth feeding, something worth giving your time, attention, love, energy, efforts. And I think you're starting to realize it's just not worth it. You were pouring yourself into something that didn't have reciprocity. And so I think you're looking at other options, if not already moving on to another one. Yeah, you are setting yourself free. There's an element of liberation here. And for a lot of you, it's like the peace of mind that comes from letting something exit your life or moving on wholeheartedly and not feeling sort of tethered to the past or feeling guilt like you owe somebody an explanation. I think the explanation kind of stands for itself. It's like, I think whatever you were wanting or desiring from this person, this job, this entity, you made it known. And so it's almost an insult that you feel like you're being put in a position where you have to ask for it again and again and again. And you're just like, you know what? Done and dusted. This is very much, I'm washing my hands of it and I am free from worrying about this person's like bullshit. That's really what this feels like. For some of you, this could even relate to a family dynamic, particularly with a sibling, which obviously isn't a happy message. You know, I'm sad to hear that. But for some of you, if it brings you peace of mind, it might actually be a very positive thing coming in your life. And ironically, even though you think this has been something that has been going on for so long, when you do finally cut this person out of your life or cut them off or sever ties or give notice, leave the job, whatever, this person is shocked. They don't see it coming. They're like, what do you mean? And so that's it's like too little too late. It's like once you make that final determination, that's probably when they reach back out to you to be like, hey, Capricorn, like, let's talk. Maybe we can do that thing. And honestly, at that point, it's too little too late. You're so far removed from it and not emotionally invested in it. Though at one point in time you're just like, you're paying it no mind. It doesn't even matter at this point because this person already showed you their true colors. Like, you essentially had to up and leave for them to realize what they were missing or what they were risking to lose or whatever. So yeah, the Tower says to me there's sort of shock and amazement that you're taking this sort of what they view as a drastic step, but I think you're just like, this is organically what it's come to, and so I'm being pulled in another direction. Yeah, because you have self-love. Willpower, strength, confidence, going off in a new direction, even though it might be strange or foreign or a little bit scary because it's different. That doesn't mean it's not going to be even better for you. It's not going to be beneficial in many, many ways. You have kind of sun moon energy, so this may come to a culmination with an upcoming full moon. Oh, which is going to be in Capricorn. Duh. I love it when the tarot makes sense astrologically. Yeah, so something about that full moon in Capricorn, you're probably leaving some sort of contract or relationship or some sort of long-standing connection that you've simply outgrown, and I think it's going to feel great to get the hell out of there, to get the hell out of Dodge. That's what this feels like. All right, thanks, Capricorn. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Whoops, terrible shuffle. What's up? How you guys doing? Let's pull some tarot for you. What messages might be coming through for Aquarius in the next couple weeks? Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. What can I share with them? What's coming through for Aquarius? The Hanged Man, so needing to think something over, possibly some delays, a delayed offer, or needing to sort of edit or go back to the drawing board in how you're going to present something. I don't know if that's a presentation or a project or asking somebody out, but it's like, it's sort of changing your... changing up your strategy and how you're going to move forward to do something. Oof. I mean, obviously because you want it to land correctly with this person. I think there's a delicate situation that you're dealing with. And I think you know that no matter how you phrase this person probably isn't going to take the news well. And so you're being very gentle and delicate and having to approach them very gingerly, so that it may even just have to do with not bruising their ego. This could definitely be a scenario where you went out on a few dates with someone and you're just like, yeah, no, there's no way in hell this is going to work. But there's something about this person where after having met them or interacted with them, you can tell that they're just like a baby lamb or something. Like they're so just fuzzy and delicate. It's like, oh God, it's like no matter what I say, they're gonna, it's gonna be like kicking a puppy or something. So it's like you're trying to make this land in a way where you don't hurt them even more or offend them more. This very much feels like someone who may have told you their history of like, everybody always breaks up with me and this and that. And you're like, oh yeah, like this person is like a project. Like I don't, or I don't know. It could be that like, I'm just trying to phrase it in a couple different ways to give you an idea. There's also an energy here of like, if you were applying for a job and you kind of went back and forth and you had to negotiate salary and benefit package and this and that, and finally they make you the offer and then you're like, actually, I don't want it. You're kind of like, ugh, like I kind of made them do a lot of work for me and now I have to let them know I'm actually not going to take it. It's that type of like, the thing is, I don't think, there's an element of guilt, I guess, with the Hangsman, but I don't think it's long-standing because you're transforming that guilt into something very practical. With the Page of Pentacles, it's like, all right, we got to ground ourselves in reality. Like, it might be a scenario where you just have to rip the Band-Aid off. Like, there might not be any pleasant way to do it, but ultimately it needs to be done, and I see you stepping up and being responsible and doing the right thing. But I think there's a little bit of a hesitance to do it and try and do it in the best possible way, again, because this person is just like bleeding heart or something very sensitive, or you've gotten yourself into this very like complex situation where you're like, oh God, this isn't going to go well, but I have to do it. And so your best bet, if you're relating to this scenario, Page of Pentacles, ground yourself in reality. Sometimes life is tough. Sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do or love to do. But ultimately, I think you're doing what's best for everyone involved. I don't think you're just ghosting this person, which arguably would be worse, right? I think you're, in some ways, I want to say give the benefit of the doubt. I think maybe you tried to do that. That message very much came out. So I don't know why I said that, but that felt like it wanted to come out, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you are, though. Maybe you're giving this person one more chance to show up and do right. I don't know if that's so much in the dating scenario, but I don't know. There's something here of like, something can be salvaged from this. And for some of you, maybe it has to do with like, again, like your pride or your personal standing or trying to be a good person, a stand-up guy, a stand-up girl, however you want to say it. But tell me a little bit more. Yeah, ultimately, though, your goal is to move on from this and feel victorious, or to feel like you accomplished something. And yes, it was challenging. With the Chariot energy, it's very much like put on your game face, put on your war face, right? We got to go to battle for this. And so with that, there's a serious, I don't know why, it does feel like a serious conversation, even though I don't necessarily have like great sword cards. There's a conversation of putting an ending to something or having to let somebody down gently. Now, why are we letting them down gently? Am I allowed to know? The moon. There, I don't know, fogginess, confusion, illness, just kind of eccentric or not really having clarity. Someone who might be too sensitive or too, I don't know, too huggy-feely, or there's just something unknown about them that you find very unsettling. Something, it doesn't bring you peace of mind. It kind of agitates your energy, and so I think you're looking to remove yourself from them or remove them from your life. Or there's just something that it's not vibing. The vibe isn't quite there. There isn't that connection, right? It feels deep and it feels heavy. Again, if this is a relationship, it feels like someone is fresh out of a divorce. And, metaphorically, it's like you go on a date and like they start pouring their heart out to you and, just about crying about their ex. And you're just like, ew, what? Like, it's that type of like, you feel like you have to handle with care, but especially with the Chariot, Cancerian energy, it's like somehow you ended up being in almost like a parental role to this person. And you're just kind of like, what? This is not what I'm wanting. So, all right. Yeah, this is just repeating the same messages. You're approaching this very cautiously. You're trying to do the right thing, but I think understandably so, because whoever you're dealing with, they're a little bit I'm trying to be gentle how I phrase this, but I would say, to be honest, guys, even if it's just, temporary, you're dealing with someone who might be a little bit emotionally unstable or triggered very easily emotionally. And so because you know this, you're having to handle with care, because you don't want to get bit. You might be dealing with a Cancer or a Pisces. Again, very emotional signs, right? The little crabby pincers, right? Sometimes they cling on to things and don't want to let go. It could be this person is too clingy. They're looking to be committed and in a relationship instantly. And you're like, but we just met. Like, what? Yeah, you guys are not speaking the same language. And ultimately, again, whether it's romantic or not, business related, you guys ultimately don't want the same thing, at least right now. So yeah, you're trying to do the right thing here, but I hate to say it's like a losing battle. I don't want to paint that scenario. I think you have to go in knowing exactly what you're going to say it and get out of there, because there could be a situation where this person tries to renegotiate or use maybe like some sort of strategic tactics or like emotional manipulation to try and get you back or to get you to feel bad for them or kind of doing the whole like woe is me, pity victim type thing. Like, you know what I mean? So I would kind of go in there knowing what you need to accomplish and like get out, and call it a day. That's my best advice to you, Aquarius. Yeah. Trust your intuition. You do know what's up here. The vibes you're picking up, the messages you're receiving maybe from the divine, they're on point. So trust your gut instincts here. Trust your gut instincts. Sometimes it's hard to do the right thing, but you should still move forward and do it anyway. Okay. All right. Thanks, Aquarius. Hello, Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. What's up, Pisces? Let's see what's coming in for you in the next week or two. What message or storyline can I share with Pisces? They've been challenging this week. I can't lie to you. Almost every sign has gotten there must be something going on astrologically. Saturn in Pisces, right, is squaring all the Gemini stuff. So anyway, all right. So you have Empress. That's a good money card. What's the deal with this Empress? The Empress is waiting. So some of you, you're waiting up on your high horse, like you're expecting someone to maybe cater to your need, or the opposite. Hang with me. We're going to pull some more cards, but this could also be like, I refuse to wait for you because if you don't know, you don't know, and that tells me what I need to know about you. So it's like I'm better than that. It's like I might be cutting you loose. Others of you might be contemplating money and financial issues. There might be an important decision in regards to parenthood or your children, your own mother, something. There's a lot of storylines coming through. So let's narrow this on down. All right, let's see. Yeah, it kind of seems like you guys are being left on red. The Empress, it's sort of being relayed to me as like hanging out for a bit, right? Waiting on something because something is delayed. But the energy that's keeping you in wait, essentially, it's sort of blocked off. Like the heart chakra is being closed off. So there could be almost like psychically you sense that someone is maybe detaching or losing interest or pulling away. But the thing is, you seem to be handling it rather well, even if you didn't initially at first. Like maybe you had that desire to go in and rescue and save and solve this person's problem. But I think you've done that enough in your life where you're starting to realize you just got to hang back because the right person will come to you. The right person will be emotionally available and vulnerable and willing to, open up and at least share the experiences with you. It's not necessarily that it's your job and responsibility to fix them and care for them and nurture them, mama energy with the Empress. But yeah, something about this energy, it's very closed off this week. And so even if this isn't like divorce or a breakup or an ending, I think there's just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to let them figure it out because I think that's the healthiest thing to do. And for some of you, for most of you, it's not even really coming through in a dismissive, you know what? That's their problem. It's not that. You actually are coming through with very lovely energy. It's very much like sometimes people need to fight their own battles, and I'm understanding that. And there's something about rather than enabling this and coming to their rescue, and they're going to come to be dependent on me, right? Which, again, a low vibe Pisces or low vibe energy of any sign, but especially water signs, it's like that desire to be needed. So putting yourself in a position where people rely on you, right? Versus, you know what? This person is an adult, a big boy, a big girl, whatever. Like they can solve their own problems. Like I can be here, to help them talk it through or whatever. But ultimately it's their own demon they have to slay, their own dragon they have to slay. So like, For you, I think you're taking your cue of this person being a little bit distant rather than chasing them or being like, oh, what's wrong? You're like, it's all right. They'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like and so for some of you, this may actually have to do with your own child. Like, you can't fight the bully at school for them. Eventually you have to release them out into the world and, give them the wisdom and guidance you think they need. But ultimately, like it's their own life, and this person maybe needs to show up for themselves, because ultimately that's what you've had to learn to do for yourself too, right? So that's sort of what I'm getting there. Queen of Wands, yeah. So if this is romantic, this person does seem to have like wandering eyes and I mean, I don't want you to jump to conclusions. If you're in a happy marriage and you're just having trouble with communication this week, it does seem like you guys are not solving this problem together. And to be honest, I actually think that's okay. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but given sort of the scenarios I painted for you, I think this person is learning to rely on their own strength and their own tenacity versus turning to you to rescue them or solve it or fix it or constantly be there to wipe away their tears, metaphorically, even if it's a full-grown adult. Right? So tell me a little bit more about the Pisces energy, and feel free to reverse it, right? But sometimes it's a cross-watcher reading that comes through. But yeah, this Empress, it's like they're not going to cater to everybody below them all the time, because they command a certain amount of respect and gratitude, right? Receiving that gratitude, because it is a Venus sign. It's so nurturing, it's so loving, it's so giving, but ultimately, that can be a tapped well, that can be a tapped resource if we're not sort of like charging our battery back up, right? And making sure that we're receiving that goodness and kindness from other people. The Moon. Yeah, so this sort of seems like an unexpected shift or an unexpected turn in how you're choosing to proceed forward with this. And I think for you, it might be causing you a little bit of anxiety to not do the thing that you usually do for this person, to step back and just be like, no, I'm not gonna, healthy boundaries, or I'm just gonna, it's for some of you, it feels more silent. Like, I'm not going to respond to that comment because I know they're trying to trigger me. I'm just like, I know what I've done. I've made my decision and I stick to them, and I'm just going to let the chips fall where they will. There's like kind of like an exhale. And I think for some of you, you just kind of need to give yourself that extra pep talk of knowing that you made the right decision here. Yeah, a lot of you, though, you do seem to be cutting something off or letting it freeze out, letting it exit your life. Why is that? What's the deal? I mean, ultimately, this person is closed off. And yeah, their eyes, I always look at who's looking at who in the spread and, what's addressing what. The Queen of Wands here, it's looking elsewhere. So it's looking for something somewhere else that this Empress isn't providing or can't provide, or is saying, no, I cannot provide that to you anymore, right? The Lovers. Yeah, guys, this does feel like someone has wandering eyes or has another option. And the thing is, I think you know that, but don't get it twisted. Like, not to say anyone's better than anyone else, but ultimately what's coming through here is like the Empress is major arcana. The Queen of Wands is not. Do you understand what I mean? Like, so that's really what you need to know. This person is like chase and tail, right? The Lovers to the Ace of Wands. This is very much like, one night stand energy, or hit it and quit it, or just looking to get sort of that elation and that hit from some sort of sexual encounter or sexual experience. But like, I don't know, it doesn't feel, it's not Empress energy. Empress energy can do all the sexual Venusian, sensualities type stuff, but there's also self-respect, right? It's not about being used or being part of someone's game or being a pawn in someone's game. Yeah, I don't know, sometimes the Queen of Wands can be like the other woman, or kind of like, it can sometimes be like a self-centered energy, or like a not trickstery, but kind of like bitchy, like out for themselves type of, I don't know. So I'm just saying, whatever energy you're dealing with, you guys are coming at it from completely different perspectives. And I'm sorry the messages are kind of like blah this week, but it was consistent. So I have to take that to mean that like a lot of zodiac signs are going through something right now. You seem to be going off in your own direction. And I think going off into the unknown for some of you is a little bit scary, because you started to kind of like, hitch your anchor to this boat. But unfortunately, like, this boat is sinking. So there's something here about save yourself. Don't rescue them. Don't send the follow-up text. Don't worry, like, did I say something wrong or do something wrong? Nope. Don't even worry about it. It's not your problem. And because really it is a problem. It doesn't seem like it's bringing you peace of mind. So I think there's very much kind of like a releasing that is happening here for your best and highest good. So sometimes, you know, as they say, the universe, rejection is divine protection. And that's what this feels like, because as hard as it is to say, it's like, I don't think you were this person's only option, but I also think you kind of knew that too. So anyway, all right, that's what I got for you this week, Pisces. Thanks for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye.